right, everybody, let's get right into it. Welcome our special strategy session. We're going to get this kicked off in a minute here. Let's just update quick markets. The selling continues, and we're just, playing out the 4-hour pattern we talked about Tuesday and even last week here of this big deep crab on NASDAQ NQ. We talked a whole bunch about all the measurements that are up here, so not a surprise. Let's get into it. I know we got Bitcoin continuing to drop, and the rest of it we'll take a look at. There's one or two things that are really happening, but that's about it. NASDAQ down 465. We hit target, and now what? What's going to happen here? Let's dig into it and then just kind of outline the process of how we assess opportunities, look at the framework, and then develop our argument for what we're going to do. Great to see everybody. Come on in, everybody. Just settle in. Yeah, we're going to go probably 2 hours, do a strategy session, and then look at some examples. First, I just want to kind of highlight what NASDAQ's doing. Let's take a quick peek at Bitcoin, and then I will give you guys some juicy details on already, incredibly, Black Friday and what we'll do there all month. Bitcoin down 2,600. Back at 101. I'm not, this is not a surprise, and this is something that we have been really kind of struggling with all month, the whole month of inability to do anything at a critical time, and then now certainly just targeting 93K first stop. It's an irregular pattern on Bitcoin. Again, we really thought we had a couple of opportunities to really get going, and then after the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the data changed, shifted back to where we're saying it's not happening now. And I would just be looking for this kind of framework, get back to T1 to resolve the shark. And this is something about crypto that is, I would say, sometimes gives us irregular conditions, but it doesn't take too much here to basically follow what has happened. That every bearish pattern on the daily that we've seen since the cycle began hit target 1, no doubt about it. Yeah, I don't know. What's up, BG? I don't know about AF, but certainly in right now in the next 6-7 days for sure, we got it. So again, guys, we shifted our position, really got suspect on the big shakeout, flush out that was all the way back here a month ago, and there's the follow through. So we're going to talk about how to build these arguments and really get into it, because just to show you guys, all right, don't know why I was I guess I was fighting it because of the time frame, and I was certainly fighting it, thinking, all right, we'll see this blow off, we'll fail some patterns and go, but no. And I want to come back to this because this really gets to what I want to talk about today, is respecting the patterns, respecting the software. This is what's giving us kind of the filtered conglomeration of movements and breaking them down to definable patterns, and then just saying, all right, if we have a pattern as a big signal, we got to do that. And we've been there before. We got to hit stuff like, there it is, T1, T1 again, every time here. And that gets to something that I've always talked about where the patterns are simply, they're a stop sign, they're a traffic sign, a yield sign, if you will. Hey, take note, pattern, whether it's a crab, shark, bat, it's a cautionary kind of take a look at this area and pinpoint in that area. And that's why, having given it enough time, and we'll talk about that as well, where target one isn't necessarily a fixed price, is more of kind of a needed objective to resolve the overbought condition. That's, with these bearish patterns, that's what we're looking at. And again, even go back all the way here, just time and time again, whole lot of irregularities going on where we need to get the type 1. We need to get the type 1. And the only thing that was crazy, all right, with all of these bearish patterns that have popped up, even with this, when we go back here to where it all really, before it broke out, we had a bearish pattern and it gave us the reaction. So there's a mechanism at work here, and that has to do a lot with the pattern requirements being satisfied as what I like to call a harmonic pattern pause, guys, which is what NASDAQ's doing right now, and respecting that dynamic. So great to see everybody. What's going on? Is it really? We'll look at those. Let's we'll get all those. What's up, David, Victoria, Mr. Kennedy, Doc? It's a hell of a week, right, man? Exactly. Again, guys, bring it all in here, and let's start really quick. Let me do this. Hold on. Let me just start with this and go from there. Show you guys this slideshow. Okay, here's the deal. We'll do it that way. Thank you. There's the Black Friday special. We're going to do 30% off. We do this once a year. All right, and it's your time to renew, get the program. If you've been on the fence, 30% off. Also, the sooner you sign up, the sooner you get the gold membership. We'll take that till January 1st. And like the one thing that I'm not going to do, or the one thing that I'm going to do that I haven't done before, and I think this gets to more of helping people overcome the learning curve, is to offer a one-on-one consultation with anybody that wants it. Any new subscriber, you purchase it, you get with the program, and then if you want to have a talk, I'm there. So again, a little bit of hand holding, but all of that is really to help people understand what they're seeing here. There's a lot going on. My aim today is to break it down into a framework that's easily digestible so that you can understand, okay, why Scott turned bearish? Why'd Scott look for a pullback? Why is Scott looking for bullish opportunities? All based on the harmonic framework, confirmation strategies. And then just fit that within a basic technical argument. Use the code HPC30, and here's the other thing. Get over to harmonictrader.com. If you're brand new, okay, do it this way. Brand new folks, just go to harmonictrader.com, and the best thing to do is get over here, send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. All right, and we'll send you the code. I'll send you the resource videos and email, like all of that. Just get set up, and then if you really, I'm going to put this in the chat too. To get more on the information, click the blog, and here's the whole thing. Now we're talking about TradingView. We do have this available on all the platforms. Okay, Ninja, MetaTrader. You guys are welcome to try them all. So get on over there. Check the blog link. Thank you. And review it. Everyone else, Welcome back. I know most of you guys, you've either taken the trial or you already own the program. For those that have taken the trial before, let me give you one other little bell whistle, okay, is we've just started the pattern profiler, and I want to show you that. So something that I've been working on for a long time, and our programmer, really went to town on putting together what is a statistical readout of any pattern on your selected time frame. So this new pattern profiler will be available for new purchases, new subscribers. Okay, of anybody that gets it now, and you get it this month, you'll include the profiler. After this month, it will be an add-on. Existing people, you need to DM me in the Discord. All right, that's it. If you're a new trial user, you guys will get a crack at that. If for anybody that already owns it, listen. The easiest way for me to do this, because we're gonna add it, we're gonna have it as an add-on. But for right now, if you want, connect with me in the Discord. You got to send me your TradingView username. All right, and then we will set you up as a member. But this window is open now, and then I'm gonna anybody that requests it that already owns it, okay, we'll set you up with it. Beyond next week, that's the when's the window closes. Now the profiler itself, just to be clear with everybody, it is not optimized in the way that I wanted to do, because we are at the pattern, we're at the limitations of what TradingView can offer us. So there's a limited amount of space. We're already maxing it out for an add-on program. I do anticipate this going to change. TradingView is, and I hope this is going to happen pretty quickly. TradingView is going to start to have their own program that will expand what we offer and what we can offer, and this very well could be offered directly through TradingView in the next few months, where then possibilities are greater for more programming. What you're looking at right now, and the way that I would kind of examine the profiler statistics, is that it is unfiltered. So the statistics basically will measure, okay, when a T1 or T2 is generated, and if you get to target 1, target 2. So like here's Bitcoin on a 5-minute, there's the Gartley. All right, the way that it would read that is, have you gone from T1 to T1 dollar sign? And then did you do that? And then you go from T1 back to T2. Just based on price levels. Now, if you look at it, the way I would, my thought on this for immediate usage, okay, because once we can get more of the filters and the programming, ultimately this would be the gateway to a bot. We just can't expand the data limits yet, but filtering type 1, type 2 confirmation strategies would be built in here. But for now, just what I'd say is take a look, especially on short-term time frames. If it's Bitcoin, like a 60-minute, or if it's NQ, say on a 5-minute, okay, or 30-second time frame. It goes back last 5,000 bars. And just look at the pattern statistics of seriously what's working. And I would look at it like this. Go through the profiler on like a 5-minute basis. We got a bullish shark, bullish crab. There's 3 and 5 opportunities. 2 out of the 3 worked. 3 out of the 5 worked. But even better, and this kind of helps us when we're analyzing any opportunity, is that look at stuff like average number of bars, okay, or average win, average loss. Those kind of factors really show you that, when it's happening, when you get a type 1 reaction, you get a type 2, they're not taking a hell of a lot of time. And so if you're looking at an opportunity, and you guys know the 30 bar rule, okay? That 30 bar rule really important, but you go through here and look at even like, some of the losers. Like here's a bullish bat. Those last three opportunities, zero worked out. Okay, 0 out of 3 worked out. And all of them happened, basically the average amount of time was 3 bars. What does that mean? Well, it means that a lot of what we do in terms of looking at opportunities, and that's what I want to talk about today, is turning the pattern into a trade opportunity. All right, it's not an immediate execution, but that tight window all should unfold within a few bars. And if it's plowing through the opportunity or doesn't have confirmation, okay, we wait. We respect what's going on, and I'm just waiting till confirmation. And I'm going to take you to yesterday. Perfect example. All right, where we had this. I'm going to take off the profiler now. I would actually open up a separate window, okay, with that, and run the profiler on a separate window. But here's it's a classic 5-minute pattern that completed yesterday, and that's what led to today's correction. But let's just take a look at the zone here. All right, we're here. Check it out. Where is the trade opportunity here? And I look at it like this. Okay, there's the T1. Usually we're looking for a reaction down, but where's the confirmation? Not until the hop level. Those dots, the pink diamond, all of that. This is exactly the total optimization. What I want to do and where we will get to with this pattern profiler, so that it can signal and calculate statistically the population of patterns that we get this. Okay, we get these setups where great pattern, and patterns are beautiful structural frameworks, but they are only a starting point. And again, that is something that is overlooked. Early on, my whole work was differentiating patterns, but then I realized the importance that confirmation really pinpoint the zones. That's what we have here. What do we got right now? Really quick, 5-minute time frame right now. What do we have? Any patterns down here? Nothing really yet. We were talking about the 4-hour pattern. Okay, and that was this beautiful deep crab, but the same kind of deal. Look, the deep crab, this is from about 10 days ago, completed all the way here. Where was the trade opportunity? Not until we had confirmation. Confirmation was about 5-7 bars later. Okay, look at it like this. And we've already taken it to target, so type 1 is over for now against this 4-hour time frame. If anything, I am looking at this for today. Like, did we come back? Did we just retest that dot? And that's it? We'll see. All right, so let me do that. What's up, everybody? It is. Thanks. I appreciate that, David. What's up, Neil? Is crypto over? We can get to that. Let's build the argument. I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, I thought we were due for, we have to get oversold. No matter what. Unless you're Zcash or maybe Dash. Those are the only two I see. If you guys have anything else you want to look at, let me know. Crypto space or otherwise. Again, I think with what Nasdaq's doing here and the rest of it, we just got to pay for what was given to us right into October. There was no October correction. So Nasdaq down 405 at the moment. We were as low, what was that, 20? It was just a minute ago. We were at 25,197. Now 350. Come on back to that. Let me run through a couple slides. I think this is going to help. So again, 30% off. That's the time to get it. Guys, the only time we do this. HT Gold membership until January 1st, and then a one-on-one consult. Get the code HPC30. All my gold members already have this at their disposal, but let's just dig in and we're going to do a review. We're going to look at some expectations versus realities. All right, let's look at harmonic pattern structure versus the trades. We'll look at some kind of update what we've been talking about all year long, and then apply that the next 6 months, because I think we do need to embrace all the targets that were hit. So again, let's just shoot through some of these concepts. All right, first, and just things that you have to be aware of to facilitate what the software is kicking out. Understand, there is a learning curve. Well, you guys know that. I'm sure folks learn a little bit more every time, and that is kind of how it goes. You know, you learn the framework, you learn strategies, you get some experience going through examples, you apply that to the next set of opportunities. So look at the measured framework, look at the confirmation that we pinpoint, and then again, is crypto over? Let's build the argument with the clear entry exit levels that we know that creates the defined trading realm, as I like to call it. So take a look at the charts. If you're brand new, again, get with the trial, but take a few days, take a week, take the whole 14 days. This is all to develop the experience, get yourself within the framework of the levels, and then get ready to trade the market when it's ready to be traded. That's probably the most critical aspect, because if we don't have our conditions, bang, we're waiting for them. You guys have seen this before. The whole process, I don't care what you apply, identification, execution, management. The identification, that's the pattern. We're looking for that as a trade, to turn that into a trade opportunity. All right, so it's never one point. It's the structure first. It's then the confirmation and the trigger. And that happens not within 1 or even 3. It's usually like 5 to 10 bars, and we get the trigger. And the minimum process for any trade is 30 bars. So let's look at the structure, how the software defines the zones. Do we have price agreement? And then, the pattern type. Like, I can go back. Let's just go back really quick here. Where's NASDAQ? Where'd you go, NQ? All right, here's NQ. All right, and let's just look at this deep crab, because this has been the most relevant structure we've been dealing with. This is why over the last 2 weeks we've been saying, all right, it's time to come in a little bit. There's the pattern completed, 4-hour time frame. That's huge. And I think people, when we're looking at charts and we're looking at, for the first time, kind of working through, what a lot of people lose sight of is the actual amount of time it takes to get from T1 down to T1 dollar sign. You go back here, we are, pre-Halloween, 2 weeks ago, and we finally hit the target. So there's a longer process. Now, we look at the same way on the 5-minute time frame, but understanding what the longer term time frames are telling us, which has been down for the last 10 days. Okay, a lot of gyrations in between, but our objective still T1 to T1 dollar sign. We're there now. What do? I'll get in that in a second. So understand that takes time, weeks. We're here. How many sessions have we had? 6 6 sessions twice a week, 3 weeks now of getting into this, and here we are. But the process does not, the opportunity is not at the pattern. Because look, the pattern is the zone. That's the whole zone, there and there, all down to one bar. But where is the opportunity? Okay, the opportunity is the confirmation. Confirmation, again, how many bars? On the T1, 3 to 5. There's 3, there's 5, maybe 5 to 10. All right, confirmation within 10 bars. Think of it as a window every time. Every time. Then the opportunity doesn't even begin until we see confirmation like that. Now, there's going to be patterns where you don't get confirmation. That's okay. All right, I prefer to go on those that have confirmation because you have much more precision. That's the only way I can pinpoint. How do we pinpoint? Look at it like this. The dot forms, there's HSI, there's the check back. We start looking the next bar. Now this bar it was a secondary HSI, but you get the point. Okay, and we look at the dot and we look at that the open bar. That's how we get a pattern. I know in our last session some people had questions. Okay, of like, where's the opportunity? And that opportunity is literally on the open level of that price bar. Okay, but it's not till the next bar because this is where it's really in this area. It's like it's the penultimate price action that's second to last before it actually happens, a divergence area. So whatever's happening up here, that's like your last ditch move to try to go higher, and it fails. We're going to see two things happen here. And with all patterns, this is all designed to kind of slow it down, get you guys focused on the right areas with the patterns. We're focused up here, around 26,280, not down here, not 26,150, 26,280. Still looking to go to target. Software, it illustrates it. It's a T1, but the execution is here. But we're still looking for target 1. All right, that's the baseline assessment if it's a type 1 or type 2. Type 2, we know we go for target 2. But type 1, with confirmation, I think that's one of the best reactionary trades, especially for futures out there. Again, we can look at all unfolds the same way on every time frame. If it's a 5-minute, 30-second, like here. This was also yesterday. Okay? And we go back here. Where was it? Was it ETH? Hold on. Yeah, here we go. So we also had this yesterday. All right, yesterday we had, why was yesterday up and now today's down? Like yesterday, a lot of people were saying, okay, we're done. And now we can really get going. And I was like, no, this is actually one of the scariest setups. If you're looking for this thing to turn around, it's not ready. What's the argument? The argument is this, that it was a type 1, goes to target 1, and look what happens. On the way to get there, it's a 5-minute time frame. Again, notice the same alignment of level, confirmation, trigger, and then finally, the final piece that I've been talking about for a while is monitoring amplified RSI. If it's a diamond, it's all about getting the early signals in our indicators that are below the 50. Amplified being like the last one that has to happen. And that really, for amplified, that breakdown, that first test was like here. was really here, like 3 to 5 after the pattern completed. Then we got the rollover and all the way back down, and now another failure. I got to say right now, guys, this is a big deal on the 5-minute NASDAQ NQ. We were just up at 330. Now we're 250. We've got a ways to go today, guys. We're down 495 at the moment. Is that a buying opportunity? No. Why? What's the last signal? The last signal already showing, hey, counter HSI, that arrow against, if that was a possibility, okay, there's T2, there's your dots, you're looking there, it failed. And it failed because not only one, I actually sold this trigger in my group this morning from like 500 down to like 350. Okay, but these are the signs. The software is going to give it to you. All right, it will, if it's a flawed type 2, if it is something where we don't have our indicators in the right spot, we're going to see things like this: quick reaction and then failure. And this is for me, this is a big failure on the 5, where then we can kick it up to, say, the hourly or the 4-hour, where that's more in control what's possible down here. And just let's see what happens today. You're down 500. I'm looking for this. If it's not today, maybe into tomorrow, I'm looking for target 2. All the way down there at 950. That's like 300 lower. How do I know that? Well, we failed everything. We're still in this type 1 reaction, but it's failed. It's failed. Look for target 2. Yeah. Couple more. Well, you guys, if you have a couple of patterns you want to look at, pop them up. No. I'll come back to the pattern profiler. I see what you're saying, but listen, I'll come back to the pattern profiler. It's not optimized. All right, but what I'm going to highlight with it is going with the patterns that are working. Like, here, you got me. I'll just show this to you, okay? Again, let's go back to like a 30-second time frame, because I think it's better on day trading. Because the question is, there was one pattern that had 11 opportunities and they failed. It was probably because they were bearish patterns in a crazy bullish trend. Here, it's like this. The bullish crab. Yeah, there you go. A bullish crab. That was the one. All right, that's the last 5,000 bars. Okay, basically what you're looking at there is the last couple of weeks, but we've been down the last couple of weeks. Short. So let me come back to that. I will come back to the profiler and show you guys really. It's not complete at the moment. All right, and a lot of it has to do with what we are able to program into it. But let me come back to this. Right now, we got NQ on a 30-second. All right, there's a shark to 5.0 with a dot. Let's look at this for a second. Take that off. Not optimized. All right, shark pattern, kind of irregular. The 5.0. If that was a shark to 5.0 where you're looking for a rebound from like 240, and it's right here right now, back up to the zone of 270. Not the best. I mean, I'm not crazy about it because of this irregular, but just its target. It's kind of like what Bitcoin is right now on the daily chart. But I would be looking immediately at the dot, all right, and look at the next bar. Are we going to get a return move here? Final piece I would look at, and I showed this to you time and time again, are we above 50 level? If this is the first bar, I'm day trading NASDAQ, and I'm thinking, okay, this is overdone. I'm ready to get this long. Do we have things like, is that above the 50? Is HSI above the 50? Getting there. All right. And this is final piece. Is that above the 50? If this is going to be a bigger turnaround, your target one level is 240. Currently 254. Now we're getting above the 50 level. Amplified, trying to get above the 50 level. And I know I'm shooting around here, but we're looking down here at 240 to go back to 270. Do we have all of our indicators trending in the right spot? Are they above the 50 and continuing? And that's like 3 bars later. You know, the signal was 2 minutes ago, and the first time you really got anything was this last bar. Because one of the things that I see a lot of people, they're jumping early. They hit a level and they jump. They have no confirmation. They have no regard for what's truly happening with internally amplified HSI, amplified RSI, which is just all of this is really just a modified relative strength. You can look at relative strength if you want, but HSI and amplified RSI have been the two tools really for me that's made the difference of when is it going to truly move. I would say with this, you're back at 240 right now. Could have easily jumped in on that and say, oh yeah, it's going to go. It's not till we get above the 50 level here. So watch it. The other two are there. Amplified's not there. Where was that 5 minute? Hold on. Yeah, okay, good. The 5 minute. All right, is the 5 minute time frame ready to turn around? No pattern there, not at least on extended hours, electronic hours. What about, there's RTH. Both of these. I mean, again, if you're looking long here, they have to be above the 50 levels to even be considered. They're not there yet. Not there yet, even like HSI. Understand, guys, that the pattern development, the whole process of the way that we look at anything coming out of the zone, okay, it is not just one line, one candle. It's really what I'm trying to hit home here. We can look at gold. Yeah, I haven't looked at gold today. All right, here's a perfect example here. We know the trend's down today. You're down 490 at the moment. We have a little reaction. And I'm just saying, hey, I'm thinking the market's oversold. Just thinking, what's the harmonic pattern argument? Well, what's here on a 30-second time? We have something, shark, ugly shark to 5-0. Some oversold readings here. All right. Can we get it at least for the retest to 70 or 88? Beyond that, you know, I'm not expecting much other than a little intraday reaction off of something like that. And here you go. You just had all right, this would negate it. All right, bearish HSI just went counter against what we've been trying to assume of like some kind of return move. Wish I had, I would love to go off a dot, or I'd love to get up here with a type 2 and then for a larger continuation. Because if we got it, again, I'd frame it out like this. Go type 1, get the confirmation up in the zone and go down for the 2. Doesn't look like it's going to do it. Come back to that. Let me just stroll through a couple of the other things here. Just highlight some of the kind of the basics so that you guys understand how we should look at every structure. Take a look at, here's our basic model. Hold on. There's the 1-2. Every pattern that we assess, we're looking for a type 1, which is pattern reaction, and I want confirmation either to target 1 or target 2. 382 to 618 measured off the pattern, and then we look for the return. Now, as far as confirmation, the indicators, I've talked about this in the past, but as a quick review, our two primary are HSI and amplified RSI, but we're also, this is all based off of standard relative strength. So if you use RSI, okay, or you're just manually drawing patterns and you're looking at RSI, okay, link the two up. But the triggers, and this is where our proprietary tools and what we've brought to harmonic patterns really makes a difference of being able to scrunch a whole large zone into an exact entry point, which is dot indicator or open bar trigger that I just talked about. And then what it is, it's just divergence within that pattern. So if I'm looking at this immediately, the dot, the signal here, this is what you should think of as a divergence, meaning price is trying to go down. Internally, it's trying to stabilize. Should at the level, should be good for minimum reaction without any interference. And look what you got. We didn't get the target. We have that HSI. So be it. Scratch it. I mean, the better opportunity is going to come up if we get a full test of the shark. When we get a dot here, maybe in the next, I don't know, maybe the next few minutes, 5-10 minutes. All right, we'll look at gold. You guys are really pounding the table on gold. GC futures, really quick. Gold futures, $39.99, 34K. We're still going on 36. 36, remember? And this is an abnormal, kind of irregular pattern structure. All right, we had large targets at 4,100, 4,150. Look, the deep crab that was populated back in October, absolutely smashed. Okay, no confirmation up here, so this is definitely not ideal. Let me be clear about that. But you're looking for target 1, 36.50, or if we get some kind of confirmation first, maybe today. Is that all we're going to get? But we wouldn't even assess it until tomorrow. All right, that's something else that I think people need to let happen. Do we get the confirmation first and then go, or do we just go? And again, if we're looking for a short opportunity against that, what are the indicators doing? Okay, just a retracement. We're not above the 50 level on any of this, where I would say the retracement's over yet. You're almost there, but not. It has to be up here, guys. It has to be above 50. Like HSI, that's the first indicator, harmonic strength index. If you wanted to jump into gold thinking that retracement is done, you have a couple more days to go. Watch it. Those are the triggers. Those are the environmental signals that I'm looking at. So far, I'm fine with letting that kind of come in further. Even on the 4-hour time frame, it's maybe on the 4-hour time frame, the first time we would look would be, maybe it was a Friday or Monday. Not there yet. So take that to task. Really, we want to be lining up structures, patterns, confirmation. What about a yes on the 5? Look, there's another one. It's really nice on the on S&P here. ES futures. Probably there. Well, there's RTH. Check out this. I mean, here's an example of perfect type 1 non-confirmation deep crab, and this is from Tuesday. Type 1 up to target 1. That's the model. Back to 2. What's the problem with this? No dot, no HSI. And again, I think you respect the levels. I would pass on those kind of trades because there is no confirmation, but still read the story. Type 1 hit, target 1, bang, and then it went to T1. That's it. You're done. That's how you should read it. Again, this is the same on any time frame. You get the reaction, it can't get through, starts rolling over. You're already anticipating at 68.39 rollover. You're looking for the retest. That's one of the kind of strategic advantages of employing patterns. Pretty easy to pinpoint what is just a short-lived reaction and what needs a retest. This one, I mean, there's problems with this pattern because, again, there's a T2. Where's our confirmation? No, no, no. And it finally gets a move up. Back above levels, makes a run for target 2. What happens? Run into more bearish confirmation. All right? This is all designed to point your eyes in the right areas. Okay, looking for pattern levels, that's your structure, confirmation that turn into triggers. So that if we're up here, okay, ES like yesterday, yeah, went sideways all day yesterday, but that was a pretty big limit of how far that could go on that move and rolled over this morning. Again, all the way back down. The other thought is like if we don't have confirmation and you see something like this and we're rolling over, trending, I mean, you're destined for a retest, if not a hop test. And that's now been kind of eviscerated. Yeah, I would love to see on this 5-minute, come on. Like ES come back, retest that HSI at what's that, around 61.50? No, sorry. That's at 61.50. Yeah. You're 54 at the moment. Retest that and roll over again. Daily time frame for S&P, guys. Looks like this. I think we're almost there. Maybe another day or so. We're firmly under these 50 levels, and that started last week. You know, you were cracking 50 here on S&P right there. I guess that was what, Monday? Yes. Pierced 50 here. I mean, all of this is set up where it doesn't seem, consequential, but it really is. You're at that 50 level on Amplify. That's still down. All right. All of this is pointing lower where it has to come in to kind of resolve the overbought prior readings and take it to target. And the bottom one, that's combo. I'm not going to get into too much of the combo indicator except for the diamond. All right. And I really want to bring in this optimization. Once we're able to bring in the dot recognition and some trending, some trailing language logic into the profiler, I think the statistics are going to go sky high. You're not going to see, five opportunities and only one winner, because what'll happen is a lot of those are failing to have confirmation. What's S&P look like right now? Nothing really. I mean, no pattern here. 30-second time frame, something. Yeah, okay. There you go. Did that 5-0? We went back for the shark, right? Couple of nice. Here's 30-second time frame. Look at that 30-second time frame, and now we're at a T2. Perfect. All right, so let's start. Let's focus here. Where's the trade opportunity? Where's the opportunity, guys? Type 1 all the way over here. We had some prior bullish patterns, and now we're at a 2. Why? Software's already telling you. Here. So structurally, You're looking at like 67.53. All right, there's first confirmation starting to develop as we speak. Okay, is not there yet. I would say this is a lot like what happened over here. You took 5-7 bars before you had the confirmation. This is a type 2. We assume type T2, go to target 2. Not there yet. Look at the shark here on S&P. Where was the trade? You had the dot, you had the pattern. But we didn't break 50 until there. Okay, or I would say here. All of that. 5 bars later. That's kind of the, look, that happens. We're not going to get ideal instances of perfect 3-bar reactions or 3-bar turnarounds immediately. But everything that we have in terms of pattern structures, triggers, they are all universally applied, defined, measured. Okay, we just need to have a little bit of patience, discipline to let the signals trigger and then understand we're going to get the conditions. For example, down here, the end of the type 1 reaction. How do you know? Well, T1 dollar sign, diamond, a bunch of check back, 642 was T1, you bottom at 639. Where was the real turnaround on that? Where did that come in? When we got above the 50 here, amplified, really busting above the 50 here and here. You know, like market. Here. It's like this. It's right here. Gotta be above the 50, right? Right there. And that's around, what, 115? 1213. It's like right there. Now you've got something. All right, we've got potentially, are we going to get a yellow dot? Because that's what needs to come in. Very similar arrow, diamond, dot. Do we have a dot yet? No. No trade yet, but real close. Walk through that process, especially new folks. Because I get a lot of it. A lot of people jumping in on the pattern early, or the other thing is they jump in properly, but they don't know, they don't take the target. They get in somewhere here and they just think it's going to keep going down. It does not work like that. It's reaction, bang, retest, or as I call it, return. And now reversal trade. Where's the dot? That's the only thing I need to see. Is this going to be a real reversal or is it going to fail? Not until I got a dot. So be patient with it. These are the things to digest to really boost your comprehension, okay? Understanding where the critical points are. I talked about this last week with the big 1618s that we hit across the board. I'll get into that on a longer term basis here in a minute. Short-term trades, it's like this. This is the process, okay? Sometimes we'll get perfect patterns. I mean, here's S&P just an hour or two ago. Check it out. Software kicking out, and it was ugly. Ugly as anything down here. Look. Market was in free fall right before we started today's session. You know, there's 11:30, there's 11:45-ish. There's a T1, couple of T1s. Any confirmation, any dot down here? I don't see anything. There's nothing here. I would not have taken that trade. But if you did, let's say you were just looking for a reaction up to target 1, you got the counter signals. You're done. And all the way back down. Now, there's a T2. No dot, but you had an arrow. I still want a dot. I mean, guys, I'm looking for dot in every instance. And where did that dot eventually come? All the way to the right. That's an irregular setup but still valid in terms of being able to capture something off of the pattern retest. Get your level, define it by a T2, and just start to draw your eyes to where does the confirmation happen. T2 is here. The trade is down there. T2 that hits on there is like, for that pattern, all of it's like 41 area, 40, 43 area. But the confirmation was 38. Where are we at now? Waiting for a dot. Looks like it wants to push, but we're still waiting. See, there you go. The dot's trying to print right there. Not official until the bar closes as well. We would not look at this until after that completes. Let me see if we can stay with this here. Take a look at our indicators here. Okay. All right, this is in a better spot. There's the dot, 2, 1, bang. Okay, good. Now we're in business. Here you go. Last thing I want to see. Where does the real breakaway trend happen? It's under the 50 there. Okay, amplified, is that under 50? No. HSI, definitely. Okay, this needs to get under the 50. So you might be sitting through this for a few more bars before you take that trade. Okay, until that rolls down. I know I bring this up a lot, but I don't do enough of this. I don't do enough bar by bar. Show you guys on a 30-second or a 5-minute time. Even a 5-minute time frame takes too long. But this is what I'm going to be doing now. I'll do this a lot more. Where's the trade? It's not ready. It's a great pattern, great setup, but we're not there just yet. Look, this might be a delayed kind of event where it happens 10 bars later. This is just us being flexible within our framework, okay? Letting the market do what it's got to do. We're still in the framework. Looking a little better. Not able to get it through that dot retest, and that dot retest right there was at 61.25. There you go, just hit. The only thing I need to see is this dip down under the 50. It's not there. It's close. Let's look at that. 61.50. That's on a 30-second time frame too. Okay, check it out. Really critical filtering. I mean, if it's going to be ideal, it will go under the 50 and still give you plenty of time to enter it. It's not doing that here. Not yet. Important to walk through those steps because I've had a few people contact me. They love the patterns. They love the signals, but the number one thing they're going through is drawdown because they get in early because they don't have the proper conditions. This situation right here is not the same as this yet. A lot of similarities. I mean, arrow, diamond, dot. That's pretty nice. But where's the real breakdown point? Not here versus on the first test. Really, the first time you pierced 50 was like there. And a real breakdown was there. And look where you were. Those matter. Those kind of triggers matter. And let me just say this about the type 1 reaction and why I like confirmation. Because if you have a type 1 pattern, we see it all the time. This is the other thing about the pattern alignments. You're going to have to go through some kind of reaction phase no matter what. That's the up, down, zigzag of what we're looking at, of how markets move. Took years, guys. The 1-2 alone, the type 1, type 2 alone was something that to really figure it out and be able to conceptualize the whole 1-2, it took me 2 or 3 years. And then, and I'll say this, okay, this was during .com. A lot of the ideas I put out were the .com. So every retracement in these tech stocks with a bullish pattern, what they were doing was they're doing this. They go down and they just blast through. And as we got further along, I was like, oh, okay, now I want to see how this is. If we don't blast through, we're usually getting a retest. And then what happened was after 2000, when they really started coming down and without confirmation, the type 2s were failing. This is almost a type 2 failure. Not there yet, but again, look at amplified. All right, that's our guide. The price cannot move until we're under the 50. We're not there yet. What do you guys want to look at? I don't know, Wayne. If your data is slow, the other thing I'm going to suggest, and we got into this last time, make sure you're looking at the same contract. That contract, ES, okay, that's a continuous versus December contract. Those little ones matter. Or even if it's like micro versus the regular contract, you might see differences. It's kind of like the crypto thing, but not as bad. It's kind of like all the varying crypto feeds, but just not as crazy. Okay, there you go again, another failure. Couple more. Tell you what, while I flash the promotion again here, get the harmonic trigger. Let's look at it like this. This is what it is. So take a screenshot. This is what we're looking at. Go T1 to T1 dollar sign, T2 to T2 dollar sign. Of course, T2 is a bigger trade, but we have to have confirmation, and we see it can fail. Be aware of the counter dot, okay, as you're going to target, and then tracking. HSI, AMP RSI, are we above 50, below 50? Tell me what's going on in price action in that area. Let's look at some examples. Let's look at some immediate kind of things right now. If it's crypto, I don't care, although I don't have much to offer. If you're looking for bullish opportunities, I don't have anything to offer yet. Is crypto over? Well, let's go back to Bitcoin. Let's look at the ETF. Okay, ETF, 30-second, perfect type 2 bat on GBTC. Here's the daily. Check the daily here. Yeah, daily's got a bullish dot, no pattern. Where's the... No. Let me go to spot. Let's just go to spot. Let's get updated on that. 1015. All right, so structurally, what I've been thinking about and kind of really hoping would trigger, especially in the beginning of October, is these daily oversold signals would get us going back to 118. Where do we got? We got to 117, and we have a counter HSI. So what my take on crypto, and probably more specifically Bitcoin, because I think you got to separate them, is that until we get another oversold reading, we're not even concerned. Let it happen. Let it fall. To target or otherwise. And again, look at, where's HSI, guys? And all these people that they blindly come out and they say fear is sky high, and so that must mean it's time to buy because you're a fool. You're a fool if you sell, or you're a fool if you're not bullish. Let's do better than that. What's the reading tell us? Where are the levels? What's the HSI condition? It's under the 50, trending lower. No thanks. Give me a signal. Get me back above the 50 until I even consider that. And until that happens, I don't care. I don't give a you know what. If we have any targets or pattern levels relevant to this whole action, where are they? It's still an irregular type 1, 40, 93, 210. Is that over for crypto? I don't think so. Not yet, but how would it be over? Aside from the 4-year cycle that did finish, I mean, by everybody else's metric that has been claiming the cycle date lines, yeah, that was over second week of October. But I said this, if you were wanted to get long Bitcoin, obviously we have been going hold on. We've been going dot to dot, guys. You know, there at the bottom, there was a first dot. Okay. Second, bearish, sideways, bullish. That's sent it and back down again. And it's incredible. Just think about last summer where we were. Everyone was screaming, okay, it's over. Bitcoin's going back to 30K. And we were like, no, 60, 55K with all of that. Just kind of review. Then where we came in here on January, we hit a bunch of targets. We could not break out. We got the dot. That's when I said, all right, we need a retracement. And we got it. Again, we nailed that one right at 76. Just go back and look at what we talked about in March. Go back to the X feed, see all those posts. And I said back then that 75, 76 was the same as like 55. Then after many weeks here at another diamond target. I mean, look, let's just not fight it. We get the dot, and the dot is what I do trigger off of. So, just really using this time to clarify for you guys what we have to pinpoint on. Getting a diamond is great, and that's something that I think probably still needs a little tweaking, but I want to focus on show me the dot. If we had a pattern, that would be great. But give me the dot and then focus on that open bar trigger, which was that on that week. Yeah, that was 119. What's happened since? Sideways consolidation, but then 2 or 3 weeks ago, we cracked the 50 right here. That's how I know. That's why I am of the opinion for now, okay, Bitcoin will continue to be down until we resolve all this. We either get completely oversold or we spend a few more weeks stabilizing and then turn back around. That's the requirement. For me to assume anything's going to happen in Bitcoin, you need to come from here and then you need to get above the 50 level. How many weeks is that going to take? A lot. That's a lot of weeks. So down into the zone with all of that. Questions? Is this clarifying anything? Really important. Look, harmonic patterns as an entire methodology was never my objective. It was never like when I started this, I was in my desk next to my bed. It was 1997. And I started looking at ABCD. I was looking at Elliott Wave. I was looking at M&W structures. And it all started for me basically recognizing, hey, there's something to the M&W structures. Okay, there's a reason why a Gartley versus a bat work. Okay, there's a Gartley and the specific alignments. That whole alignment idea was totally brand new. that every point in the M or W was important. But man, that was such just a starting point to everything else that had to be figured out. And it was years, guys. It was years. HSI, okay, the RSI foundation, that was many years after the fact. HSI has only been around for 10 years, not even. And I feel like we're light years in terms of being ahead of precision, of being able to pinpoint zones than where we were. But read the signals. Okay, understand those realities, what it takes. You know, that we get a zone, we get a pattern, great. Let the software do the work. But we're then still looking, we don't jump automatically. Every opportunity is going to give you plenty of time to materialize and to get into the position. Where are we? NQ 350. What happened on that shark? Here we go. Oh, that was S&P 500. Yeah, ES. ES. ES was a 30-second. Where's that shark? Great. Perfect. Here's the shark. Okay, you're looking for some type 2. What happens? Never materializes. Never. We got under the 50 all the way here. We got under the 50 like what, 3 bars ago? 5 bars, like a couple minutes ago. I'll still watch it. This is not as ideal as I would like. It's not as ideal as the type 1, but I'll watch this. Watch that here. Where is it? Looking a little better now for a possible. I don't like the counter HSI there. That would be a warning sign to me. But again, I'm monitoring amplified. This right there. I kind of like this now. Come back down under that 50. But that's how to stack an argument. That's how to really, describe what's going on. Okay, and then just read it to yourself. I mean, go to Bitcoin. The Bitcoin weekly chart to me has been a challenge for the last 2 months because of this. Because we've been up here at the 1618, the whole all-time thing. All right, 1618, 1902, the 1025 level, that has always been our objective. All right, and you're there at 1025. It was a 1618 there, like there. 1902, again, just a measured zone. It should be a 18. It should be like a 1886. And what happens in that zone? 1, 2 signals. All right, we knew, and we've been talking about the 1618 needing to get digested. My upside target for Bitcoin was to go extreme like it has every cycle to a 2618. Like there, 155, 160. Is it happening yet? No. What direction is that in on the weekly? It's down for now. And it's still down till we get oversold again. That changed about 4 weeks ago. All right, back here, we got the signals and everything, but did you really get the breakdown? No, you didn't get the breakdown until, I would say, 10 weeks later. That's a lot of time to get confused. Okay, listen to a bunch of influencers tell you one thing or another. I want to measure, and I want to be patient and wait. For me, what I really think Bitcoin will do at a minimum is Best case scenario, you're in a channel weekly retracement that's like that or like that. And so, how about one more time? 1, 2, 3 channel retracement. If it's going to be the end of the cycle, that's a flat out failure at 93K. All right. That's for me how I'm looking at the next 3 to 6 months for Bitcoin. Yes, hate to say it, I'd say there's probably like 40% chance this is over within this channel. How are we going to know? Probably in another week or two. We fail this channel and we just kind of fall out of bed, which all of these, look, ask myself, Scott, how does Bitcoin get bullish again? Not until we would break the HSI downtrend, turn around, get back above the 50 level. Until that happens, folks, yeah, you are continuing with a Bitcoin retrace. Here's amplified, still down under the 50 level. Okay, is it over? Not 100% yet. If we fail, if we really kind of take out the levels, yeah, then I'm going to say we are. We do fail. And what happens is you start the larger retrace like we had last cycle, and that would be it. That would be it. We have never had a 1618 like this expansion on Bitcoin that did not see the continuation within, say, 30 weeks after the fact. I mean, every time. Our premise, again, just measuring, if we're saying, okay, crypto is going to grow and we're going to go price discovery, well, we go 1618. And then we assess, where's the confirmation? No confirmation, sales on through. What did we hit? Last cycle was a 3618 with confirmation twice, there and there. We did not get that. We got a 1618 and that was it. Let me show you Ethereum, which is still, I think Ethereum is probably the one that you got to watch out for. Ethereum had the pattern, and again, the deep crab. I've said this in many of the past sessions of all summer long. Okay, respecting the fact that, hey, the software kicked out the deep crab, regular crab, and it was not the prettiest of patterns because it was grabbing off of that point. Why wouldn't it grab there and try to pick up a 1618? Because the alignment, the A, B, C, D would not be right. The B point alignment would not be right. Your BC extension, that it would all exceed the limits. And that's probably something else I need to explain, is that the patterns aren't just MWs. They are, kind of stacked, refined XABCD structures that not only require the measurements, but they have to fall within really precise limits. 3-5% limits at each point. That's why you have this crab. That's why Ethereum is in a type 1 reaction. 3490 was target 1 always, and then what happened on the way? We got this bat that all right, that was the one, and we said this all along, needs the type 2. So I'm not even interested in it until we finish the bullish pattern, hit the T2 that we have. We hit the hop this morning, or actually, sorry, Tuesday we managed to hit the hop. Now I'll ask you, is that a bullish pattern I need to be buying here? Don't have any confirmation. In fact, if I'm looking at Ethereum off of the crab pattern as a type 1, where's the confirmation to finish it off? it's not there. And I'll say this about the whole Ethereum, the state of Ethereum, despite everybody else. You fail 31.31. You fail the low from 2 days ago. There is zero here till target two, guys. And so I'm watching this. I'm really watching this more for the state of crypto than anything else. It's in a terrible position. There's not even close to confirming, and we know what happens under the hop level, and that's 2687. At that point, okay, we get that failure. I would be, I would probably say it is over, at least for Ethereum's sake. And for the rest of crypto, there's zero constructive action here. And then what are the obvious patterns? Other patterns, looking left, you go all the way back here. I'm not interested at 31.31. There's no confirmation. And I'm actually more concerned that it's like 26 or maybe even 2K. This is where we separate crypto narrative versus framework. Okay. Demanding we have perfect confirmation. None of that is there. All right. And then waiting for those opportunities to come to us. There's no opportunity here. Maybe a little nominal reaction, but a serious swing point? No. A couple more. The 15-minute NASDAQ. What's that? Let's look. And it's probably the same as the here you go. It's the same probably as the hourly or 4-hour. Yeah, we're rolling back down. I'll look. 15-minute though. Hold on. 15-minute NQ. There you go. All right, RTH 15. All right, I see what you're getting at. Some folks saying look at the 15-minute. All right. Glad you brought this up. Let's look at it. Bat pattern. All right, not the greatest because we're not even pulling off of, again, I would prefer to pull off a really concrete low or high, like that would even be better. But let's look at it as is, because the rest of the alignments are the measurements that need to be there are there. So dot, diamond, did we get the check back? All right, I see that. You got the check right there at 24. But you know what my question's going to be? Is amplified above 50? So this is a good one to look at. You got everything. You had the check back, but amplified is not above the 50 yet. Like this is so far a kind of a dud reaction. I like what kind of the things we've been talking about though. Pattern was identified here. XA is 25,361, but there's the confirmation at 220. That's 100 points, 140 lower from the XA. So I get it. I see that. I would still be waiting for something like this for a larger possibility to come out of that zone. Get above the 50 level. Not a bad little reactive move, but for me, that's been the defining limit. Like taking a shot where amplified is not above the 50 and then you get stretched out. We could go sideways here for a lot of bars. That's why I'm really demanding that you have all of them trending above the 50 where they can really get going. We're 333 at the moment on NQ. The other way, take a look. What's the number we use for pattern completion? There's T1, go throw it to the right. And if it is a true T1, you're looking for 25,706. There's 30 bars. Basically by Friday. How many bars are we in? We're like halfway through already. Let's watch that. If that does pop above the 50 level, you got about 11, 12 minutes until that's valid. All right, just we'll monitor it. It's not my ideal. It's not as ideal as some kind of concrete high or low, but let's just monitor that until it gets above the 50. Down 400 so far. Markets are getting destroyed, but not again. I don't think really as much destroyed as we talked about this last week of reaching the big targets and needing a retracement. The primary level that we talked about last time was, I guess it's best on the QQQ. That's NQ100. Yeah, because the one we had a couple differences. QQQ and actually Nasdaq December contract did hit, or was it micro? Regardless, 630. That's where we left this off, guys. 630, a reaction at the all time. This big 1618. This is what I drew on our Tuesday session. And if we get into a 382 here, it would probably be the best thing for it. 382 is back at 550, 545. And we were talking about this last week. And now we're here and we got this big engulfing bearish candle rollover. Yeah, and this as well on the Qs going into next week, I would watch this thing here. Like we get a follow through next week, that will seal the deal. Even amplified is not at the below the 50 level on, and that's a weekly chart. So bigger acceleration, not even, you might be another week or two, but that's what you should be looking for. If we're going to get a serious breakdown, it falls out, cracks 50. Like we did back here. What was that? February into, yeah, third week of February. Really critical stuff to bring it all together. What else we got? Yeah. What's going on? No worries. 97. Yeah, 1997 was wild. It was a wild time to bring it all together. I mean, because and I didn't even know what I was doing at that point. Really, I was, totally green. I mean, I had been tracking, studying the markets, trading kind of part time, but 1997, 98, 99, they were pretty remarkable to be able to get your feet wet. A couple others. Qubit, Zcash, JD, BB. What's that? BlackBerry? That takes me back to 1997. When top for Zcash? Zcash is just look. Zcash 538 now. We talked about why that weekly thing is at 450 was so critical. I would really watch the weekly close. It's not close yet. I mean, check out what's going on here. Weekly, HSI overbought, still needs to come down. I mean, this is the only one. This one and Dash. These are the only two crypto doing crypto type things. Would be great, but it's not happening. Not happening. I mean, Zcash. Only thing I can say is like, go on an hourly. But look what's happening here. Hourly's like that, and we've been kind of marveling Zcash since it hit 150. Dash is the other one, just to kind of show you guys that something looking left. Dash here at 117. So I look, Dash has got interesting harmonic pattern dynamics. It did the type 1, right? Okay. It was nothing. It was sideways for 3 years. And now in the last, what, 2 months, 3 months, kind of getting a bid. And notice how it went exactly to target 1 at 136.67 and came off of there. Are we going to go to target 2, which would be like 193? Let's see what happens at the end of this week. Got 3 days to do so. But despite as long as that took, and it's a pretty remarkable pattern, it just hit target 1. Okay, the problem with a lot of these, they haven't worked out to anything. Zcash, Dash here, maybe Compound was the other one, like these privacy coins. But again, are you going to chase it? No. Could you wait for something? I would wait for, like I said, 4-hour time frame or hourly time frame, something like that. What else? We can look at Solana, because I think Solana on the bearish side has a lot of what we've been talking about. Like, can we glean? What kind of signals can we glean from other individual big crypto to give us an idea of what's going on? Here's Solana. There you go. I said this last time. I'm going to reiterate it. Mechanically, Solana has to come to T2 now. And it wasn't clear initially. It looked kind of strong, but the week after, bearish candle, second bearish candle, 4 weeks here, and now a full breakdown under T1. It's 105, guys. It's 105, and it can't help itself. If you're looking for a bullish opportunity in Solana, can you really say there's anything there? No. The green line is down there at like 130. Target 2, which is where it should go because it's a type 2, is 105. Even if you don't have the experience enough, okay, to understand everything that's going on, you can simply read the chart to yourself. What is it? That's a T2. Not, and I've said this before, there's confirmation. Typically, we want it after the fact. But price action also 3 to 5 weeks here. What's it doing? Reacting, rolling over, breaks down. Take me to 105. And I have no other argument. I don't care what anyone says about Solana this, Solana that. Price action wise, framework wise, this is where everyone needs to get. You got to get there in terms of your trader mentality, strategic framework, that no one knocks you off of this assessment. I don't care what anyone says, who's going to do what on Solana, this, that. The next opportunity on Solana is at 106, 105.94, and I will not waver from that until it happens. That's how you navigate the bullshit. That's how you navigate all the influencers who are telling you there's so much fear out there that it's a time to buy now. And these guys have said this every 90 days for the last year and a half. Why I do this, okay? Offer it goes deep. All right, because there were so many shenanigans going on after, early, like 10 years ago, I took a bunch of time off. and some marketers grabbed on the patterns and did all this, made all these crazy claims and basically brought all this disinformation into the true effectiveness of the patterns. This is what the software does. This is why we do what we do. Couple others. Qubit, QUBT. What's that? Quantum? That's Quantum Corp. Okay, weekly, overbought. Where's the next oversold? Nowhere here. What's the daily look like? Oh, some daily signals, yeah. Remember we were okay. It's good to come back to this too. We were looking at all of the quantum stocks, and still are. But where's the first time where you can really even consider these signals valid? I mean, like this and this was the thought. It's not till after the dot. So, there's the dot. What's the next bar? It's bullish, great. Development, dot, next bar, bullish. Dot, next bar, bear, bear. Mild bull, not really, another bear. And then, again, look at it like this. If the bullish signal is here, where is the indicator? Where's amplified? Are we trending higher or lower? I mean, are we like that or are we down? We're down and we're still down. I get really, I'm amazed sometimes when people really kind of foo-foo indicators when they don't quite realize that they are the internal strength readings, all right, of the actual price action, especially when you're doing comparative kind of a 30-day assessment of what's happening today versus 30 days ago. And it's telling you it's not turning around, not yet. This condition down here is a lot different than, say, what happened back in August. Like, here you go. Where's amplified? We're just looking at that. Where is it above the 50? There for the first time. Where does it really break out? On the 50. There. Where are we now? We're well under the 30, or under 35. We're not trending up. So again, I use this to kind of highlight the example, especially the quantum stocks, raging. We caught those this summer because they had a different condition. They were checking back, and then they made development there. And then within 5-10 bars later, you're starting to make progress. Here, you're not there. I'd say something like that, you're oversold. Yeah, but it's not ready to turn around yet. Give it 5-10 bars. A couple more. Couple more. It went below the 200-day moving average on Qubit. Okay, I mean, again, overlay moving average is great. I don't like it there, and we don't have the construction, the development. What's different from, look at it like this. And I say this because, I mean, there's no pattern here, but I say this because there is a differentiation. How is this situation different than this or that? Both of those that gave you the next leg higher. Well, look, where's amplified? Gets above the 50 shortly thereafter. Maybe this turns up, but it's going to be a few more days before it does. And then back here, and this is really, where was it? I think it was like this summer, spring, late spring and summer, where on like Quantum and Rigetti and all those, we were looking at that and looking at these because they had development strength getting above the 50 level. This, not there yet. It's been the one thing that's getting people crushed. I don't think they're looking at one point versus assessing kind of a group, 5 bars after the fact. And I say this, the last overbought signal there on Quantum lined up There was the first crack under the 50. And then what's that? Like last week? No, a month ago. That was the real breakdown point. I will get bullish on that again when these set up to do so. Not there yet. Uh, SUI, ICP. You guys love these freaking crypto. Okay, a couple more. I'm going to wrap it. SUI is like this. SUI, under 2 now. Okay, we're looking at that. We've been looking at that all summer. Saying, let it come back, because we were looking at SUI. Let me clean it up. We were up here, shark to 5.0. We said, all right, let it come back for the 5.0 at a minimum, which was 3.08. And it just collapsed. Where's the dot? All the way down here. And now back with this crazy type 2. Bad pattern at $2. You're 195. What would define that as a trade? What do we need for a trade there? Oversold something. Like, you get the pattern. Let the software do the work for you. You get the signal, okay? Is there any signal really here? Kind of, maybe. But I'm not even interested in this until we get, until we get up here. Let it go until we get that turning around, and even at a minimum, and more important, you have to come back above the 50. I think that one strategy, no matter what pattern you're looking at, if it's not in the right spot, you just simply step back and let it fall. Let it come into the zone. ICP, I did see that popped, but how many times does that pop and then roll back over? Oh, you got to be 7. ICP's like this. And this did kind of work, but I'm still not crazy about it. Look, daily time frame, there's ICP. Whole bunch of patterns at $2.90 or $3. I didn't like it. I still don't like it. Maybe you get a type 1, go to target 1 at like 850. But this has been one of those where I know some of you brought that up previously, where we've been on all-time lows. Why is it reacting now? Okay, it's crypto, whatever. The last signal was that. There was the confirmation. The confirmation was like $3, even though they flash crashed it to $1. I don't think that's real, but a whole bunch of just a long 1-year consolidation range, or more like 9 months, and then you pop. It's like a one-off. I would still only at best looking for 850, and again, for me, that's not a realistic pattern. Kind of one of these irregular. If you caught it, great, but I think it only goes to T1 maximum. This has been the problem of crypto. I mean, look, a year ago it was like this. ICP went from all the way down there from 7 to 15, hit the target. That was last year. 7 to 15, and then all the way back down to 2. I just, longer term, guys, crypto has done this for everything. Zcash, that's the 1 in 1,000 play. All right, I had Zcash a year ago. I had Zcash back as late as February and cashed out on it. I had 1,000. I don't even want to get into it. You do the math. But honestly, and I can't beat myself up over it. It worked out great. I never chased it. Great. That's fine. But the rest of crypto has been beyond disappointing. I think if you're in ICP, you're looking for a target out. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's just how it's been. Couple others. RCAT divergence. I don't know what that is. Red Cat holding. Okay, let's uh, let's do it this way. You explain to me what you see here. Okay, right there. What describe it? It's a crab pattern. It's a bearish pattern. Had confirmation at 15. It went to target 2. Is there anything bullish here? Any dot? Anything turn around? Not yet. I mean, you're something like that. I mean, I get it. You guys come in here, you have ideas, whether they're, a lot of you are using the software and have got great patterns. A lot of the rest is just like, hey, here's what everybody's talking about. Is there an opportunity? Just describe what you see. Tell me about the pattern. Are we at target? Is it a type 1 reaction over yet? No. And then is there anywhere close to where we could be returning like that? Not until we get stuff like this happening, get back above the 50. So, and there's amplified, still trending lower. This is where, as a trader, how do you get discipline? You just simply step out. Let it go. Until I have my conditions, I'm letting that go. As I said last time and last week and really in the last couple of weeks of just the markets hit the targets we have been looking at all year long. NASDAQ 26.5-ish. Okay, hit that target. QQQ 630, hit that target. That's it. You have to then have the retracement phase. It's not end of the world, but it's certainly end of the move for now. Couple more. On the daily, yeah, but look, I know what you're saying. Is there anything immediately? No. The daily's all the way back there at like 7. But until I see that turnaround, no. I don't disagree that this isn't a bad place to try to start looking for, this kind of a thing. Like you're trying to buy it on a retracement against that uptrend, right? Yes. It's not a bad one. All right. But this is the ideal setup with something like that. Red Cat, what was that at the low? Crazy. It was a buck. Went to 15. Came all the way back, and that was 5. There's the dot. That's something I can get into. We saw that with Rigetti. We saw that with D-Wave. They did a huge screaming, hey, take a look at me. And then they came back, did the retrace. That's the better setup. I can better explain that than trying to just chase something. And you look at where, okay, there's the retrace. Where's the 50 level cracked? It's like 3-4 weeks later. I would look at that. I would look at everything happening right now and waiting for that kind of a setup. Guys, there are going to be phases in the market like we saw in February into almost early April where you're going to have to just sit on your hands and let the opportunity come to you. And we are in another time like that. Palantir, right? Greatest freaking mover of the last 2 years. Okay, and everyone's saying this should be $1 trillion company. Maybe it will be, but for right now, where are we? Right now, it's like this. What's the last signals here? Couple of dots, oversold, around 195-ish. Where's the next series? Just again, you frame it out like this and just look, that line, last oversold triggers were like 155. I don't have a pattern up here, but we can go dot to dot like that. And again, you want to understand directional movement. Where's the opportunity? Because that's what today is all about. What are the exact things to look for to set up for that next set of longs? To buy within the uptrend, it's lower. Let that fall. I mean, even Palantir here, what has happened in the last 2-3 days? You cracked the 50, but you cracked the 50 on Palantir 2 days ago. And now you're just dealing with follow through. You guys know I have been one of the most bullish people out there all year long. To target. Targets have been reached. We now have to go through a retrace phase. The sooner we embrace those natural market dynamics, the better off we're all going to be. And do that with the program. Couple others. And then I'm out. Any pullback dot on LAC? Not yet. LAC was another one that got big pop off the monthly. All right back down. I'll say this about LAC. It had the screaming, look at me move. I don't think it's a bad idea to be looking for that dot. Remember LAC? Was that beautiful monthly and it was a one-off? Didn't get to target one. But weekly, counter HSI before the fact. So not yet. I mean, the daily there is oversold, needs more time. Closer, that might be good next week or, maybe in a few more days. Soundhound, SUN. Yeah, it did the check back. It is an uptrending creature for sure. I Soundhound, okay? Dealing with the current bat pattern, the 1 and the 2 with a counter HSI. Where's the are we above the 50 yet? No. Nothing is above the 50 yet. So you just just hold back on it. Let it fall. Let it come in. If you're looking long, I would say the easiest way and the first thing to do is to get HSI above the 50. The easy way to do that is right click on that. Right click on the indicator window, guys, and this is probably something else I need to do more of to show you guys how to set alerts and stuff to make the process not just easy but simple. Like here, when HSI gets to the 50 level as a bullish reading, you got to do one at a time. Add alert. Right click on that spot. Add alert. Okay, on all of that. And the 50 crossing up the value, you want it above the 50 level. That would be a bullish alert signal. Create that and then it'll generate for you. The alert function, just to let you guys know, we are limited by the platform that we're on. So again, TradingView has specifics. There are ways that you can create multiple conditions, but we cannot alter what TradingView does in terms of their alerts. But that's not it's an easy way to set that alert. Reports tonight. My guess on Soundhound is still lower. Would I be a seller of Bitcoin here? Yeah. And I said this on Tuesday. We could still go back to 107. But I'm firmly in the 93 camp. Minimum 93 camp. I'm not going to say all out, be all dump your Bitcoin. I'm just saying let's get a weekly retrace, and that's lower. couple others. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Yeah. What's up, Kilroy? Let's look at Chainlink. Where's that? 14. Big bat pattern. I know that had a big. Okay. Where we were on Chainlink, I think is a good quick review for all of these. Last time we were saying anything about Chainlink was let the bat pattern come in and go to target 1, which was 19. There's another type 1 that went to target 1, and in the process of hitting that, you have another bat pattern. This is like the 4th one. Check out all these patterns. Chainlink. Pretty remarkable stuff. That's our 3rd pattern since the low. 3rd bat pattern. Okay? Everything I've talked about today is to get you guys on a higher level of harmonic pattern comprehension. And Chainlink's got everything you want to see for where the next opportunity would come. Go back a year ago. There's Chainlink. Great bat pattern right there. What did it take? Let's go to the right here. I mean, I could put market replay on, but just like that. There's the opportunity. Great. T1, arrow, diamond, dot, bang. Consolidation, retest, and then it goes. Okay, is a type 1. Another type 1 going to target 2. Came all the way back, not just once, but twice. All right, there, comes all the way back down for the retest. Another bat. Where was confirmation? On the 2nd bat. It was a little delayed, but there's the dot. This is why, again, demanding it. Let go of the opportunity. Unless you have T1 or T2 with a dot, you let it go. There was the trigger. That was the real trigger in June. Pattern completed in April. Look, guys, I'm not trying to fudge this. I'm trying to show you where the realities of the real trading versus the pattern framework. Where's the opportunity? I mean, you could have tried to hit the T1, go to target 1, but I'm showing you instance over instance. That's where the opportunity is. So with this current bat pattern, where's the opportunity? Any arrow? Any dot? Not yet. I would say that's still lower in Chainlink. You know, maybe you get a little bounce off of XA, but what I really would want to see, and you're nowhere near there, you got to come lower. So that's probably not 14.45. It's probably 12-ish. And time, like there to there. And that's the one, you know, everybody talks so fondly of this, yet what has it done? You know, have we made real progress this cycle? No. So you got to really watch this. Again, not there yet. You'll get another dot. But we are probably, we're like 2 more weeks. You would need 2 more bullish weeks before I would even look at that. Like, it's there, but I know we're way early. It's not 14.50, guys. 12, back to 10 maybe. Let's see. But we can glean enough from all of this, describing the situation to yourself, to say, hey, it's not ready for a long. In the same way, we know Bitcoin needs to come in for that retracement. Ethereum is like, it's more of a 3,000 creature. Couple more. Yeah. Amazon. Amazon's another. Talked about that last time, and it was up here. What is it on the daily? The type 2 crab. There you go. We talked about this last time. Amazon, okay? One of the greatest companies in the world, a forever stock, something that will be around dominating for the rest of all of our lives. What happened? It hit a type 2 with a dot at the hop level 253. This is where we left off with it, saying, and that was the arrow I drew, is got to come in. How much does it need to come in? Yeah, could come back, retest 214-ish, or at least give me a next oversold. And there's nowhere close to that. It's super early. I know it's pretty crazy to make that call 1 day, 2 days after earnings, great earnings, but this is how we read targets. This is how we read the framework to know that that's not a long opportunity. That's probably a retrace opportunity. Let it come in. You're not surprised that thing's getting rejected and goes down. I'd say go back to 220, maybe back to that, retest that pattern at 215, and it would not be a thing. Rivian for John Hansen and a couple other people. Here's another one that popped. Okay, and I was saying, let's look for, I know you guys asked me about this, I think it was last week, and I said, maybe we get the full type 2 down here at 1036. Great earnings today. Okay. That's great. My thought is there's plenty of time. If this is going to be a real breakout, plenty of time down here. Plenty. No rush. I mean, is it more than a 1 day thing for now? No. Or a 1 week thing? No. And you'll have plenty of time. If this is going to be for real, plenty of time to jump on it. I mean, you just broke the downtrend. And I'm still not crazy about it because it is not in a trending condition. Be patient with this stuff, guys. Again, take the time. Listen, I'm going to do something crazy here. Get the TradingView software. Okay, use the code HPC30, people. And I'll put this back in the page here. Next person that types in HPC30 will give you a 30-day package. Okay, I'm only giving away one today. So HPC30, you get it for 30 days. You get the pattern profiler, and you get whatever, gold membership. I don't care. Get with the program. And we'll let you get that for the 30% off. Next time, starting next session, I'm going to give away an opportunity for people to get one package a day, a session, for all of the Black Friday month. So this is our Black Friday. If you want to renew, you've been on the sidelines, at least get the trial today, and then you'll have enough information to get the program by the end of the month. Get the pattern profiler. Okay, now's the time. Get with it. One or two more, and I am done. You got it. HPC 30 for Vats Sharma. Vats, you win that HPC 30, okay? You have to hit me up on the Discord. So go here. Thanks, David. I appreciate you putting that in there. The Discord link's there, guys. We're in there. The basic and the gold thread. If you guys have any questions, DM me. If you're an owner of TradingView HPC, you can get the pattern profiler. It's only on the TradingView version. I know this is only a starting point. I have to optimize it, but I think if the changes come through with TradingView in the next month or two, we're going to find ourselves in a much better situation, being able to do a lot more through their site exclusively. Awesome. Thanks, Birdhouse. I appreciate that. I'll give away more on Tuesday. All right, one or two more, guys. We just did link. What is assist? I see people yapping about that. I got nothing for you. I don't even want to know what that is. Strive. Don't know what happened there. I did see people talking about that. I can't offer any logical opportunity here. Just based on the trend, based on this gyrating action, it's garbage. Maybe if it came and had some after many weeks, if not months off, that's not a chart that I can say, guys, be looking at that. What we are interested in, especially with the harmonic patterns, are trends that go up, retrace, go up, and retrace again. And they are trending conditions, hitting retracement patterns and oversold conditions as it steps higher. That is not, I mean, that's like every crypto still launched. One or two more. Birdhouse, this is for you, man. Vist, Vista Energy. Look at that weekly pattern. A little late now. Remarkable. Although this is a good one. I mean, Vista Energy Minerals, that's an incredible run. Um, and like that last one that I basically completely blew off. This is what I mean by development, guys. That last one that we were looking at, which was assist. Okay, that would be like looking at Vista Energy, like here. Confirmation, sure. But is anything really happening down there? No, 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 no. Okay, you're almost a year and you're going nowhere. Oh, counter, counter, counter. Finally, like a year later after the signal, you start to make progress. That's development. And then there's a higher signal. That's development. But it takes a long time to get there. I would rather look at things that are true bottom dwellers if they have one signal and then a higher signal. That's a better continuation signal than anything else. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, listen. Guys, the profiler, I'm going to have that dialed in, I think, once we can get over to TradingView. But I do think it's worthwhile. Let's spend a little more time on that next session. For the rest of it, guys, we'll do a few more for this month. Okay, I really want to kind of narrow the gap, if you will, of just highlighting exactly where pattern opportunities can be pinpointed, not just pattern structures. I mean, the pattern structures are great for the levels, but they require the confirmation to truly pinpoint it. There's NASDAQ right now, still off 350. I'm still looking for, I don't like the fact that we have a type 2 here on the crab and you have these counter HSI dots. I would say this is where we started today. It's probably about this 4-hour structure, ETH there. All right, and we're at a type 1, target 1 off the type 1 deep crab. All right, so I'll watch, as you guys should watch, 440, currently 390. Is this the end of the type 1? You have a few things here. The only thing I would need to see, and I'll leave this for you guys, 4-hour chart. It might take until tomorrow. For that full return to take effect, you got to get above the 50 level. You got to get HSI pointing in the right direction. They're not there yet. Simple things matter. Getting directionally that in the right spot, that matters. So for now, we're still down, still looking at this lower zone here, 440 as low as 950 until we can get this kind of turnaround. So today, yeah, I mean, you're pretty washed out for today. Go into tomorrow. Let's see how it shapes up tomorrow. We'll come back on Tuesday. But that's what I have. You guys do reach out to me over on the Discord. I'm open for Comments, questions. If you have any questions about the purchase for the software, again, best place is to simply get the free trial. Send your TradingView username over here to hpc at sr-analyst.com. Everyone else, I'll give you the blog post too. Just go to harmonictrader.com and hit the blog. Here is the link for that. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Okay? We'll do more of this. I want to do next week, start with some futures. I've been holding off for a while on that, but let's start that on Tuesday. Looking at opportunities. I'm not a fan of just sitting around, just looking at nothing. If we don't have anything, it's a waste of time. If we had concrete patterns, that's, for me, that makes sense. And usually that's happening in the first hour and the last hour of the day. There's a 15-second. Not bad. NASDAQ right now as a day trading vehicle. More on that on Tuesday, okay? I'm going to get some lunch. Guys, hope that you found this educational. You have any questions, you know where to hit me. Until then, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday. As always, go get 'em.